Hey Commanders, Hoopchi here, Commander Hoopchi that is. Welcome to video number 3 where we continue our tutorial about controls. And as you can see, I'm sitting here in my tricked out vulture that I use for bounty hunting at Savica. I assume that's how you pronounce it, that's how I'm going to say it. And the reason I'm here is because I want to talk about using the face buttons not only when you're out flying around but also when you're in the midst of docking platforms or docking on a base or something like that, and we want to talk about how those face buttons are used. So we're going to just run through them real quickly, and we're going to start with A. Now, as a reminder, I'm running classical context, so if you're running default, the A and the Y button will be switched, but in this case, you know, you can kind of figure that out. I assume you have enough brain power to do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through them one by one and we'll talk about A. So when you're here, obviously A is going to select any of these three options. You can see my cursor moving up and down, starting with Starport Surfaces, Return to Service and Launch. I think those are pretty explanatory, but let's talk about them anyway. Starport Surfaces, if I go into here, it's going to pull up the board where we can look at various things. One of the main things you can see here is, you know, how your ship's doing. You know, the center screen is called Ship Analysis, and my Vulture has 100% hull, 100% fuel tank, 100% reservoir. If that wasn't the case, I could come down here and click these buttons in order to refuel everything and repair everything that I might want to repair or reload or refuel. Restock is also the exact same thing. If you go into that, then you have all these options for restocking your things. If you only have money to restock one item, you might want to come in here to be able to pick out what you restock, and it'll show you how many credits you're going to spend. Hopefully you don't ever get to the point where you're that tight on money, and the reason is because over here on the right panel, if you look down to the rebuy cost, which is all the way down at the bottom left of the screen, right under my credit balance. My credit balance is 3.7 million credits right now. The rebuy cost for this Vulture is 799,878 credits. At no point at any time do I ever want to fall below that many credits in my balance, because when I do, if I crash my ship, I get destroyed, I get interdicted, and some wing of 5 takes me out, I will be unable to rebuy my ship, and therefore I'll have to revert back to the starter Sidewinder, and let me tell you, that is painful. So I'd like to encourage you to always make sure that you have more credits balance-wise than is in that rebuy cost. But anyway, while we're in here, repairs, same thing. You can go in and select repairs. Looks like my paintwork needs a 10 credit repair. I select it with A, confirm it with A, and I just spent 10 credits, and oh well, I guess it didn't. Oh, I got to put that at 100%, sorry. Yeah, so I'm going to put that at 100%, and now I'm going to spend 10 credits and fix it. Let's go back in there and take a look at some other stuff. The bulletin board is where you can pick up missions. We'll do a tutorial about missions. Not the best way to make money, but there are things about certain missions that can benefit you. Sometimes it takes a little while to load. Now in my case, all of these missions are available but unobtainable. That means I haven't done something that would authorize me to be able to collect this mission. So let's look at this first one here. Cleaner required for 117,000. If I click A to go into that, I'm going to see at the bottom something in red. If I look down through the list, it looks like I'm looking for a target named Mike Morgan. I've got 17 hours to find him. He's located in space in BD 214791, which is 6.76 light years away. But at the bottom, the relationship required that I need in order to be able to accept this mission is I must be allied with whoever is offering this mission. In this case, it's GCRV 1568 Natural Interstellar. That's why I will be unable to collect that mission. Here's another one. Haulers required for LHS 1453 light cargo runs for 123,000. Wow, sounds like a nice haul there. Why can't I collect it? Well, the main reason here is because I don't have a high enough merchant ranking, because honestly I don't like trading, and I haven't done a whole lot of that, and I need 132 cargo capacity in order to be able to accept this mission. So all those missions will have reasons for which I am unable to obtain them. Usually you'll have missions here that you can't obtain. Contacts, this is where you go to pay your fines, pay any legacy fines, turn in your bounties and trade dividends and things like that. We'll talk about that later. Combat bonds, this is where you turn in your bonds you select, and I will have a tutorial about how to make money off of combat bonds in a later video as well. If we go into outfitting, this is where you trick out your ship. So this is my Vulture. I love this ship. It's my favorite ship for bounty hunting and just basically running around the galaxy. And I'm going to go into depth into how I trick this thing out for bounty hunting. But, you know, here's my livery. You can see my nice paint job there and some decals that I have on it. Shipyard is where you buy ships. Unfortunately, at this place, there are only 2 available. If you use your If you use the right click on the D-pad, you can look at the various ships available. Here you only have the Eagle and the Cobra Mark MK3, so that would be the only 2 options to buy. If you use your right bumper, you can go to any stored ships that you might have at this shipyard, okay? And then if you use right bumper again, you can locate other ships that you have bought and left at other stations. So for instance, my exploring vessel, which is an ASP Explorer, is currently stored at Vultes, 12.6 light years away. I'm actually tricking this ship out in order to take a trip to the center of the galaxy and then on to Beagle Point. So, you know, that ship's just sitting over there waiting for me to get all the equipment and everything on it that I need. If we go to commodities, this is where you buy and sell. And I don't do a lot of this, but we'll come in here. If you want to get into trading, there are all kinds of websites and all kinds of resources out there that can tell you the best trade routes. They're updated on a weekly basis. They can tell you, what you need to do at you know, Sovika is buy hydrogen fuel, and then you need to load up as much as you can, and you need to go to Pickham and sell the hydrogen fuel, and you'll make 1.2 million. And then while you're at Pickham, you need to buy domestic appliances, and then go to so and so, you know, that's the way the trading works. So this is where you come to buy those things and sell those things. And if I ever get around to it, I might do a video about that, though I don't much care for trading. I do care about Universal Cartographics, though, because this is where you sell any cartographic data that you've collected while exploring. My first love is exploration. Second love is bounty hunting. So I'm gonna trick out my ASP Explorer and go out for a 20,000 light year trip, hoping that I don't die along the way. And when I get back, I'll be able to turn in all of the astronomical data that I have collected to Universal Cartographics and make hopefully buku bucks. So that's where you would turn that in. So A button is very, basically just selects things in this menu. Even if you hold A, it's not going to do anything different in this menu other than just pop up this thing. All right, and we'll talk about GalNet and all this stuff over here at a later time if I feel like it becomes important. Let's hold X. Now, when you hold X, remember you have the options to go into all of these various things. The comms panel. You can also go over to this panel over here. Now this panel can be important if you're trying to map out where you want to go. You have your galaxy map and your system map here, as well as galactic power. So if you need to find some of those things, you can also set filters and things like that. And we will have a tutorial video about that. Transactions is where you look at your claims and your bounties. And I currently have 8,000 credit dormant bounty in Musgananu Bridge, so I got to be careful. If somebody scans me, they're going to say I have an 8,000 credit bounty, and they might decide that I might be worth tangling with. Although, watch out, I've got a Vulture, and I love it. Contacts, this is just the people around you. If you use your up and down on the D-pad, you can highlight these and look at them. You can target them, and then that will help you to determine where they're at on your map. Although you can't do that in here, I'll show you better how to do that once we get out of the station. Sub-targets, this is how you target specific systems on another ship. So for instance, if you want to target the Cobra MK4's power plant, you would come here to do that. And then inventory, you're going to need to activate a cargo scanner in order to determine what type of cargo that person might be carrying. Now, one thing that some people don't know about Elite Dangerous early on is that if you click in your right stick, you can use head look to look around and access all of these panels much easier. Now, if you're flying in the middle of a battle, it's not much easier because if you're like me, and you map that roll to the right stick, then you need that right stick for that. So it's not good for that. But when you're just, looking around your cockpit, and you have access to all of the controls. I'm using up and down on the D-pad over here, to select what I want, I can go to navigation, I can, right bumper, I can select any of these, I can select where I want to go and press A to lock that as my destination, and I can continue looking around, select any of these, and then I can look over here and actually work on my modules, my fire groups, my inventory functions, etc., all by using the right stick head look, which to me is kind of cool. It feels kind of natural and nice, and I wish there was a way that I could activate that when I'm actually, out flying around, but I need that right stick to roll my ship. And let's look down there. Oh, there I am. Yeah, I look pretty slim, and I love those shoes. They're like toe shoes or something like that. Big throttle there. Anyway, this is that's if you hold X. That's how you would access all of those without using head look, and then you press B to go back out. So head look. Let's look up. Let's look down. All right. If you hold Y in here, then you're going to see that you have some other options. You can cycle next target. These don't really come into play when you're inside a space station. I'll talk about those in the next video. And then B, you can't even hold B in here and get to any other contextual menu. So that is a quick video looking at your controls inside the space station. Our next video, we're actually going to travel out to a resource extraction site where I like to do some bounty hunting and show you how all of the other controls work in the form of actual bounty hunting and playing the game. So I hope you enjoyed that, and remember, Commanders, fly safe.